Hi, everyone. My name is Isaiah Torres, a part of Concentrus, and I'm an associate consultant. Today, I'll be walking through how to create a workflow to send out open invoice reminders to your customers. If there's any open invoices from your current month or any previous months, you're able to send a reminder through a workflow working off of a saved search. So you don't need to manually email these customers and inform them that they still have an open invoice. This simplifies and automates that process. So with that being said, the first thing we'll start with is creating a saved search that the workflow will use to email those specific customers. I have gone ahead and created the saved search, but I will show you how to create this saved search. So I have a saved search here called open invoice reminder. So if we walk through the steps, it would be to create the saved search, you go to reports, save searches, and you can hover over all saved searches and hit new. Since we're going off of invoices, we do want to select the transaction saved search. And I'm going to walk through these steps, but I won't save this as I already have the saved search created. So once we get down to transaction, we'll hit this. And then search title, we'll name it, open invoice reminder. And down here, we want to set it as public so that you'll be able to find it, or if someone else needs to create the workflow, they'll be able to find the saved search. Typically, if you don't have this set, it means that it's only available to your eyes only. It will fall under as a private saved search, and that will be why people on the team won't be able to find it. So since we're doing transactions, we'll want to hit the type criteria here. And with the type, we scroll down, we'll see that we have invoice here. Perfect. Now, the next step would be to add a few more criteria. So we want to look for open invoices, which would be under the status. So invoices, as we'll scroll down here, we'll see only has two different statuses, or sorry, it does have a few, but we're interested in the open, as paid in full would be already paid, pending approval, things of that nature. These won't be considered open and open to the customer. So we'll hit that to set the status. And then we'll also want to do mainline. So with mainline, this looks at the header information of an invoice, does not look at the line level details such as items or anything like that. So that's why we want to look at the mainline so we can see which customer and the total amount for the invoices. So that's the criteria. For the results, you have the native options here with NetSuite. I typically clear this out and leave the fields that I want on the save search. So once you have the fields that you want, you can hit save and run, and it'll open up the save search. As you can see here, I left the date, the period, document number, name, and the amount. So this will be the save search we use in our workflow for this open reminder. Now that we have the save search created, we can jump into the workflow itself. So we'll hover over setup, come down to, we'll hover over customizations, go to workflow, hit workflows, and we can hit the new. I like to open in a new tab so I can always reference my previous work here with the save search. So this will be the name of the workflow. We can hit, or we can select open invoice reminder as the name. So record type, again, it's going to be a transaction. It's very similar to the save search. The save searches would be going based off of the transaction type as well. And once we hit select the transaction, the record type as transaction, we'll see the available subtypes, which were also under the criteria for the save search. So as we scroll down, we'll see invoice. So we'll select invoice. We'll want to leave as testing for right now. and we'll scroll down here. So this will be the difference. Event-based and scheduled. Event-based is if you're opening records or viewing or creating new ones, you can leave it as an event-based, but because we want this to be sent out on a regular schedule to our customers, we want to hit the scheduled here. So now that we have hit scheduled, we'll see that we do have different options. We see that we have the save search filter, which we just created, and we have it as open invoice reminder. So now that we have selected the open invoice reminder, this means that this workflow will be looking at the results here. So if we come back to our screen, we want it to repeat, yes. We want the frequency to be weekly. We can send this out once a week, or you can send it out daily or monthly, totally up to you how you want to do that. We set the schedule, for whatever day we want to send it out. We want to send it out for tomorrow. We'll set it out for tomorrow, and then you choose the time that you want to send it out. So we can hit 7 a.m. Now that we did select weekly, we do want to choose the day that we want this sent out. And as we saw that we selected the date for Wednesday, we'll keep it as Wednesday, but you could choose any day of the week that you would like. Now that we have the overview for this workflow, we'll hit save. Once we hit save, this screen will load. And okay, if I go back here and see that we have our open invoice reminder, we'll hit edit. We're hitting edit because we want to confirm what the action is going to be for this workflow. So if we jump in and then we hit the pencil icon, which will allow us to add the action, we will hit new action. And as you can see here are the different actions you can do. And we scroll down to send email, we'll see that sending an email is possible through a workflow. So with this, we'll have the fields here or the criteria. It doesn't necessarily matter as we're using the save search. So we come down here for the parameters section, the sender, you can choose a specific sender. And what this means is that when the email goes out, the email will be coming from this person. So it will say from Catherine Glass. And for the recipient, we'll choose the from field, and we'll choose the customer record. So this will allow you to select a different record that may contain an email field. And since we're selecting the customer field, on this drop down for field, we will select the email. This is going to be the primary email on the customer record. And once we have that, this means that this will be sending from this user to the customer record email, whichever email is on that customer. So on the content, you can use an email template if you would like, or you can create a custom message. So we would say, since this is an open invoice reminder, we would put open invoice reminder. The body, you can choose what you would like to say in the body. So hello, this is a reminder that you have an open invoice. Thanks. And again, you can choose whatever you would like in the body email. You will want to select, so you don't want to put view record link because this would provide a link in the email for them to access NetSuite, and typically customers will not have that. So we don't want to have that selected. Down here on the attachment, you can select the file or from the from field. But since we are going to include the transaction, we'll want it to be a PDF. And as you can see, you do have options here, HTML, PDF, default. PDF is always going to be the attachment that customers prefer. So we can leave that as is on this screen. And then once we have that selected, we can hit save. And what this does, this action here is telling the workflow that once it's running, it's going to send an email based off our save search to the customer email that it's on the customer record. So we know that the email is going to be going to the primary email that the customer has with us in NetSuite, and they will receive an email that states they have an open invoice and be able to see the attached invoice as well. So now that we have created this workflow, if we come back here to our overview setup for the workflow, it will be running tomorrow, August 30th at 7 a.m. and sending out to all the customers on here. So that means that there will be a total of 40 emails being sent out once this workflow is executed. Now, typically the release status here would not be set on testing. You would want it to be released. Testing is for only when you are testing the workflow itself. But since this is a pretty straightforward workflow that's only going to be sending an email, we can set it as release and put as saved. Once you have that, you will see that tomorrow your customers will receive their email, will receive this email and be able to review their invoice and make payment. And that is our short and sweet for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at concentrus.com. Thank you.